It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport. Yeah. It's a romance sport. Yeah, it's a romance sport like that. This one going out.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is your boy, Mr. Smokefella, man, with Humidor Sports Podcast and Cigars, man. We are back this great afternoon as we watch Fighting Illini go up against Northwestern, man. Right now, that score is 7-3. Northwestern is in the lead. They're in the second. So check it out, man. We enjoy every weekend giving you sports news, laughter, and just kicking it with you, man. So I'm gonna bring to the stage my panel, my dope ass panel. So first, I'm gonna start off with Mr. 5 o'clock somewhere, Lucky Lefty. What's up?
What is going on, my people? I am back. I'm about 95% now, so I'm about to act the whole fool. And of course, I got a little coffee, but since it is 5 o'clock somewhere, it's a little something in it. But I'm gonna tell you to mind your business. So don't worry about what's in there, but it's definitely something in here. Let's get it cracking. I'm ready to get it going. Feeling great today. I
see it's Lucky Level Up Lefty today.
Level up, baby. I'm telling everybody to level up. About to end this crazy ass year 2020. 2021 is about to level up. You better level up, catch up, or get left behind. Smokefella approved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, I got my man of many states, the traveling Smokefella, Mr. KDL 33. What's up, baby?
What's happening? How y'all doing this afternoon? Coming from you live in St. Louis, Missouri, man. Border wars tonight. Illinois, Missouri. I'm repping the state I'm from. We getting it in down here. Last night was a rough one. But as y'all know how I get down. Gatorade and water, baby.
Every Saturday.
Let's get it in. Tonight is going to even be worse. But
your new name is Hydro Fella.
Hey, right. For you all out there that don't know, the Border Wars is Missouri versus Illinois. That's in basketball, NCAA basketball, for everybody that don't know. So now, hey, resident angry man, Mr. Sly Dog. What's up, man?
We lost Sly.
Oh, we lost Sly. I don't think anybody is too disappointed at that, but we're gonna bring in PG69, aka Christmas Fella. What's up?
Ho, ho, ho. We getting into the holiday spirit over here, baby. What's up, fellas? There we go. My man. I can always depend on Ivan, baby. Good morning, my man. Let's do this, man.
Hey, I think we got Angry Man back. Come on back in here, Angry Man, aka Sly Lamar Dog.
Hey, first of all, I ain't never going nowhere. For some reason, I guess y'all got me set up over here. But anyway, it's good to see you fellas. I'm usually running late. It's good to be here. You know what? I ain't got a chance to say this. That introduction is absolutely off the chain hot.
It is dope, bro.
It is dope, man. And I got love and respect to that. We done came a long way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A long way.
So we gonna get this show on the road, and I'm gonna turn it over to PG69 to go ahead and start the show for us. Let's go. PG69, front and center, Ivan. Only him on the screen. Let's go.
All right. Well, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a Smokefella finger to Rafael Sebastian Cotesco, one of the soccer coaches. This man made a very racist remark towards an assistant coach in Istanbul, Bashir. All the players, they joined together in unison and they walked off the field, which in right they should have. And now we're gonna do another thing. We're gonna put some smoke in the air. I'm gonna put some smoke in there for Olympic gold medalist Raphael Johnson. He passed on December the 2nd at the age of 86. Now, this guy is one of those guys who was instrumental. He kicked it off for black athletes He's an African American decathlon. He was an actor. He's gold medalist in the 1960s, and he had Roots Generation. This man here was one of the best friends to Bobby Kennedy. He was there when the man got shot. He was a pallbearer. We're gonna put some smoke in the air for him, and also we're gonna put some smoke in the air for one of our beloved actors that he touched everybody hard and everybody hood film, Mr. Tiny Lister. Rest in peace, sir. AKA Devo, AKA Zeus. Rest in heaven, my man. Let's go, fellas.
All right, thank you, PG. Thank you, PG. I do want to dedicate this show to all the healthcare workers that's out there, man. That's out there going in every day, all day, doing what they do to keep America safe, man. So this show is dedicated to all the healthcare workers, man. And if you do know a healthcare worker, give them a shout out today, man. Much love.
What up,
Gandhi?
I'm married to one.
Candy,
What are you doing?
That's right. It's
Well,
for
you-
her.
right. You
For her.
You give her a shout out because she is
What up, Gandhi?
I'm
Sweet.
gonna let her know you blew her off.
Oh, no. Never would I blow off my sister. All right, man. So boxing. We're gonna start off boxing, man. First of all, if you all haven't heard, Floyd Mayweather wants to fight Logan Paul now. And if you don't know who Logan Paul is, that's the dude that made Nate Robinson go night-night.
No, that's his brother.
Well, same thing. They
That's
same
right.
blood, but what do y'all think about this man? For real.
Who you
It's a
taking?
money grab.
Lefty, come on.
Absolutely pathetic. I'm so sick of Floyd ass with these whack audition fights with these horribles. You supposed to be, you claim to be an all-time great, and I give it to you 50-0. You know, whatever you can say what you want, whether you like Floyd or dislike Floyd, the man is undefeated. But that McGregor fight, and even the 3 or 4 fights before the McGregor fights were just straight clown fights. And I don't see the purpose of this at all. Only way I would go watch this fight is if they was handing out whiskey and cigars for the free. The only way I would go watch this fight. And that's all I got to say.
Well,
Hey man,
for the free slide,
For the free.
I'm gonna let you jump in on this too, man. What's your thoughts?
hey man. First of all, before I go there, and I know you just starting, I'm praying and hoping this guy from Florida forward, Keontae, I forgot his last name. He passed out, man, while walking to the sideline for a time out here in critical condition. Hope, man, he pulled.
Damn.
Hope he pulled through, man. Hope it ain't nothing serious.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw that flash. I saw that flash across the screen.
But anyway, man, you know what? I'm with Floyd on this. If I can make $20 million, man, of just dancing around for about three. What is it?
10 rounds.
Is it 10 rounds?
Yeah.
If I can be
Exhibition.
dancing around for 10 rounds, man, and get $20 million, why wouldn't I? He know he can beat Logan Paul in his sleep. Get the payday, get paid, move on from it. I'm not mad at him at all.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this out this to you, Kev. What about this possible Tyson versus Holyfield rematch, man? What's your thoughts on that one?
Oh my God.
Now, I would slide on the money grab for Floyd. Floyd say, hey, I can make $20 million because people gonna tune in and watch me, and people gonna buy it, whether they like me or not. I'm a money maker. What he's really doing is making dude money. The dude he's fighting. So I'm with Floyd. Now Tyson and Holyfield, get the entire F out of here. Okay? Neither one of y'all need to be in the ring again. Holyfield looking at it as a money grab. Tyson just made that money. Tyson probably called him and was like, look, man, I got my promotion going. Let's do a money grab. Let's get in there, right? But I'm not doing business with a dude that bit my ear off. Like, I'm just simply not doing it. So I don't understand it. I don't get
They
it.
cool
I don't
now. They
understand
cool.
it.
Okay?
Yeah, they probably I'm telling you, Tyson probably called him. I'm telling you,
First of
Tyson
all-
probably called him like, man, come grab some of this money.
Hey, real quick before we go to PG, Tyson should name his boxing association the DUB, Drunk Uncle Boxing, because that's what the hell it's gonna look like with all these old degenerates in the ring. Proceed.
Go ahead, PG. Christmas fella.
Hey,
Fella, what's up?
Hey, first of all, that's not how he called them. Holyfield didn't understand what the hell he was saying. First of all, when he called, anyway, he just said, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" And Mike got talking about, "Man, we can get in that ring." And Holyfield said, "What? What? We get in that ring and fight again?" So, man, you already know, man. It's really pathetic, man. I can see it coming from an entertainment aspect, just to see, you know, you're gonna have those fools that tune in just to see what it is anyway. It's boxing, but. Please, man, somebody gonna have a heart attack, man. These dudes is old, man. Holyfield is Tyson is in shape. Did you see Holyfield? I said, come on, man. You're gonna die in that ring, bro. You need to quit it.
Somebody need to tell him let it go, man.
Well, the problem with Holyfield is he probably still paying back child support.
So he needs that money.
Those are facts.
He really need the money. Mike got some money because he be in movies and stuff like that. Holyfield need that money, man.
But
Holyfield gonna be paying child support till he 86.
I gotta agree with Kev, man. Somebody that bit my whole ear off. He didn't bite my ear. He bit my ear off. We can't never be cool.
They already cool though.
No, man. Something wrong with that.
Cool.
We can't never be cool.
They boys.
Come on, Lefty. Anybody you got into a fight with and he bit your ear, every time you see him, you gonna want to knuckle up.
Well, it depends. If you bit my ear off and I still made about 10 million, we can talk about it. it was just a little piece of my ear I could hear.
To me,
oh man,
my whole ear gone, I wouldn't talk to you ever.
You wouldn't sacrifice a piece of your ear for $10 million,
right?
The man bit your ear off live.
You wouldn't sacrifice a piece of your ear for $10 million.
He could take my whole ear for 10 million.
I just wouldn't wear earrings no more. That's all.
We'll be calling Sly left head Sly Dog.
Absolutely.
Because he'll have one ear on one side.
You ain't lying.
Equilibrium all messed up.
Well, tonight, boxing is showcasing Shakir Stevenson versus Con Clary. I think that's on ESPN. I don't think it's a pay-per-view fight. It's a little. That's a little light-skinned dude that got that power, man. I think it's like the light heavyweight.
It's for damn sure ain't there.
Hey man,
but oh my god, that was terrible.
That's the dude Floyd behind, ain't it?
Yeah.
Did you see the lower half of Roy's stomach, man?
Oh my god.
He looked like Ben.
He looked like he 2 weeks pregnant.
Protect yourself at all times, Sly.
That man looked 2 weeks pregnant, like they just got through having sex and he ain't take a plan B.
Oh,
wow! That's strong, Lefty.
Man,
I told you I'm back. I'm feeling good.
Oh, me too.
Hey man, so we about to keep this train moving, man, and we finna go into Holden Court. Holden Court is now all basketball news and notes. So we're gonna start off. As y'all know, number one Gonzaga has suspended all their games until December 15th, man. So they the number one team, and they are suspending games because players got hit with COVID. That's a total of 4 games that they're going to miss, man. How does this affect the AP Top 25? You know, we have seen some slick stuff, and we'll get that later in NCAA football. But now here comes basketball. Lefty. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Honestly, the top 25 early in college basketball is just for like TV hype anyway. It really don't mean nothing. So I mean, unless it was some marquee matchups within those 4 games. I know they had to call off the Baylor game 1 against 2, but it's really not going to affect the tournament. It's not going to affect the national champion, even their conference. So yeah, I'm cool with it. If anything they do is about protecting the students and the student athletes, I'm cool with it. And the fact that it's not going to affect anything in March or whenever they're going to play the tournament, it's cool. If you're going to do it now.
KDL.
We already knew college basketball was going to go through the exact same thing that college football did and professional sport. So we knew it was going to be that way. Coach K and Rick Pitino spoke out on it. We'll test that later. but it was bound to happen. College basketball is not going to cancel the year because their goal is March Madness. So I don't care how many games are canceled because you just won't end up playing a full schedule. That's all. This going to happen all throughout. Their goal is to make it to March Madness because they ain't losing out on their money no more. So it is what it is. And you're going to get cancellations every single week. It's just going to happen. And we knew that. PG. It's going to happen with professional basketball now that they're out of the bubble.
PG, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with the fellas right now. It's still early in the season, so it really ain't gonna matter right now. I think people would have liked to see them play Bailey because that's one of the top teams, just to see how it's gonna look towards the NCAA championship tournament. But nothing's gonna happen right now. We already know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be plenty of teams that miss game, but long as they have that March Madness, that's all that's gonna matter for them.
Well, you know, for all the fans that's out there that be sitting on the edge of your seat, man, watching these games and you get pissed off and you got fits of rage, we got a new segment for you guys. Uh-oh. It's sponsored by Sly Dog, and this is called Angry Man. So give my man the screen. Let's go.
Okay. So my whole thing, man, today is I'm going in on Coach K. He is absolutely pathetic in his statement. He was wrong for making that statement. He makes the statement about how these college kids are suffering. You ain't running no Division II program. Your kids stand in a whole totally separate range from everybody else at Duke. Then you want to make this statement where you want to preface it first by saying, well, you know what? I know it's going to come out bad. After Michigan State, Illinois blew you out at home, now you want to come out and now you care about the college kids. You didn't care. If you went 4-0 you would have never said that. Coach K, you need to retire. I hate Duke, first of all. You've been there since the 80s. You passed your prime. I wish the hell you leave. I'm sick of you. You shouldn't have said it. And now you got your own coaches coming out talking about you. Absolutely pathetic. That's all I got to say.
My man, Angry Man.
Angry Man in the building.
Tell us how you really feel about Duke.
Man.
AKA Black Snake Moan.
Hey,
you want me to comment on that real quick?
I'll let you go in, Kev, real quick.
What he actually said was right. As far as the NCAA just wants to make it to March, they should have pushed it back. Him and Rick Pitino actually said that before the season started. I found it out. So what he said was right. Now, as far as the kids and taking up for the kids, I agree with Sly. You ain't never cared about that, so stop it. But what he said about the pandemic, they should have pushed it back and let the numbers go down because they could have started in January. Him and Rick Pitino actually said that before the season started. It just looks bad for him saying that when you then started off with a bad record and you ain't the top team that you started off to be. And you know it's going to be a long year. So now, why are you saying this? So I know it comes off bad. Sly is right. It comes off bad for him saying that. But he actually said the piece about the pandemic. He actually said it before the season started.
Well, he shouldn't have waited to, in the words of my man Sweets, his team got felt on by Illinois.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He waited until he got felt on, then he going to turn around and care about the kids' safety.
Yeah,
I'm with Sly.
Yeah, the timing of it is bad coming from him. I agree, but I'm just
all wrong. Now,
me and Ben said that as soon as he said it too. I said he said that because they losing, man.
I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to our hometown U of I Flying Illini with my man Cockburn for going into Cameron Stadium and putting that whooping, as my boy said, they got felt on.
Put that work in.
Man, so big ups to Cockburn, and I'm gonna say this to all the announcers that do the Illinois games, man. Say this man name right.
Talk about some Coburn. No, that's not his name. His name is Cockburn.
It's Cockburn, man.
They just get fined. They can't say that.
First of all, we're not gonna talk about Cockburn like he the head coach. Who can care less about Cockburn while we move on to a different segment because it's irrelevant. If
Wait,
he coach with you,
he
Hey,
ain't even a star player.
This still is the Angry Man segment, so you ain't
Right,
throwing that
right,
segment
right,
out
right.
yet.
Well, first of all, he is one of the stars of the team. He's actually a preseason All-America along with Aya.
Nah,
So get it right.
The guard is the
But-
dude.
And hopefully
Exactly.
they win tonight. So I ain't got to buy no liquor.
Hey, and then only that, Coach K, you canceled all your damn non-conference games, you bastard.
Damn.
God,
That's how you close the
Dang,
segment out.
Sly.
All right. That has been brought to you by Angry Man.
Angry Man.
Angry Man thoughts and views are not all the views of the panelists on Humidor Sports podcast, but we will see Angry Man in the future. So, moving on. NBA. Which team will have the most decline for the 2001 bubbleless season?
Good question.
ABL. What team that was in the bubble or that did well last year is going to struggle for you this year?
I can name two right off the bat. The Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder.
Yeah.
I can name them right off the bat. Houston, James Harden got to go. Like at some point he got to go because he's making it apparent that he wants out. So unfortunately he's going to get his way. Now I wouldn't trade him where he wants to go, but you got to get out.
Well, we're going to get into that, Kev. We're going to get into that a little bit later.
OKC then lost Chris Paul. That's huge. So I can say them two. Because I seriously think Phoenix and Golden State somehow is going to make the playoffs. So you got to take two out. So Houston and OKC. I really don't know in the East, man. The East, Houston, OKC for me.
Okay. PG, what's your one team that you feel that's going to struggle?
I was gonna say Houston, man, because I know Westbrook is gone. James Harden wants out, so the chemistry is already gonna be off. You got Booby Cousins coming back, and then you got John Wall coming back. These dudes ain't played in 2 years. Now we're talking about playing almost a full season and trying to make the playoff. I think it's gonna be Houston, man.
Sly, who would you select?
The dude that gave the baby $1,000 in a Prada bag. That's who. The Houston Rockets. Absolutely pathetic. James Harden, you gave the man $100,000 in a Prada bag. Had the coach, your new coach, the brother, who gonna get fired after this season because that's what they do. Had to stand up there in front of the damn media and say that it was because of COVID, and it wasn't. Absolutely pathetic, James Harden. This ain't the way you do it. You're absolutely a disgrace to basketball.
I'm actually surprised, y'all, man. I got a 1A and a 1B. I think Miami and Toronto are gonna fall off this year. Not necessarily out of the playoffs, but being like a top four team. I can see both of those teams taking a little bit of a step back. I think that was a huge loss for Miami. Derrick Jones, the athletic captains with Portland now. I think that was a huge loss. We know Jimmy Butler has a tendency to be up and down. They still got a lot of young players, and they on the same rest schedule as the Lakers. They just got done playing.
Right.
And I think Toronto losing Ibaka was huge. I think that was huge for them. I can see them taking a step back. Like I said, not necessarily falling off because I think Philly's going to be better. I think Milwaukee's still going to be there. Philly with Doc. And I can see some other Boston and teams like that. So, yeah, those are my two teams I got taking a little step back, a little decline.
Well,
Miami's still going to make the playoffs. Now they top 8.
I got a 1A and a 1B. My 1A is Indiana. I think Indiana is going to struggle because they hold continuity hasn't been right in years. Ever since Paul George left, they haven't been right. Now, this one is going to surprise you. Denver. I think Denver is going to take a step back because I think being in the bubble helped them more than any other team because they didn't have all the travel. They just sat there, and that's all they did was ball. Now, back to this traveling and all that, it's a whole different dynamic. So I'm putting some money down on Denver. I'm not going to say they're going to not make the playoffs, but they're going to struggle.
Hey, losing Grant is big for them too, man.
Yeah, that's huge for them.
That was a big loss for them.
But out of the West, man, I'll ask you directly. Out of the West, man, Who's better than Denver right now, going into the season?
Portland.
I'm still gonna say Portland. Yeah, Portland.
Look out for Phoenix.
Y'all
And
think Portland is better than Denver overall?
And
Look out for Phoenix.
And Phoenix. Now remember, Phoenix caught on late.
And now they got Chris Paul.
Undefeated. Now they got Chris Paul. And guess what? They coach is a hellified coach. Don't forget that.
Phoenix gonna make the playoffs. I said it earlier, but I'm particularly talking about Denver because I want to know what team you think can beat Denver in a 7-game series.
Dallas can beat them in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I think Dallas coming up. If Porzingis is healthy.
Dallas can't beat them, man.
If Porzingis is healthy. If Porzingis is healthy.
Not in the series.
Exactly. That's the only reason they didn't beat them last time.
Gotta be healthy. If Porzingis gotta be healthy.
And Luka was still hurt too. Luka still was nursing that ankle, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Dallas can beat them.
Right. And
we ain't saying they're gonna fall out of the playoffs. They just not gonna be the seed that they were the last year. We said take a step back. That's a decline.
First of all, PG and whoever else, Luka is not Larry Joe Bird. So calm down, please, dude.
I ain't say that.
But you
don't act like it.
You don't understand that we got to bet that he gonna hit the Lakers for 35.
Oh yeah, man, you got to bet that'll never happen.
And Slot, me and you can go in the box next week about Luka if you want. Challenge put out there.
Okay, let's keep.
Wow.
He called you
next
out.
week. Next week.
He called you out, boy.
So let's talk about the Grinch, aka Kyrie. This dude does not want to talk to the media.
Hey man, y'all froze on my screen, man. I don't know why, but go ahead.
You got that prime code still.
Like I said,
I got static in mine, so
aka Kyrie. Should he be forced to talk to the media, or should they look the other way? He took shots at LeBron on Kevin Durant's podcast.
He did.
Man,
yeah.
Dude, he said KD is the only clutch shooter that he could trust with the game on the line.
Right.
Even when he played with LeBron. So.
Wow.
Dang.
Left.
Much hallelujah.
Left. You are a LeBron fan.
Huh?
What was your thoughts about this? And I want you to speak on this whole not talking to the media thing.
Kyrie's an idiot. I've been calling him an idiot for a while. You know, he's over the last few years, he said a bunch of dumb stuff. You know, he runs his mouth. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the court. No team he goes to seems to improve. And now all of a sudden, after you make the statement that you made on KD's podcast, now all of a sudden you don't want to talk to the media. Like the media is the reason you say the dumb stuff you say. And that's, you know, to me, it's a cop-out, it's a coward move. And the bottom line is that's part of your contract. You're supposed to talk to the media. Now, why don't you just hire a PR person that can tell you what to say instead of sitting up there getting your Donald Trump on and saying any little stupid thing that come to mind? I'm sick of Kyrie Irving. He get a Smokefella finger from me. Facts.
Oh,
wow.
Little angry man jumped into you.
You done came back in full force.
For real.
I'm possessed by Sly.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on Lefty and say I 100% agree. Kyrie is an idiot. And first of all, your contract states you are to be available for the media. That's why they get fined immediately. The dummy did it on media day, which is the reason the team got fined. So the team should put an end to that and tell them and correct that right off the bat. You can't get mad at the media when you're the one that made the statement. All the media is going to do is then ask you about the very statement you made. So you can't get mad at the media. You made the statement. And everybody knew you was talking about LeBron, so they have the right to ask you about it. What the hell is wrong with you? So you ain't going to talk to the media the whole year. I'll just take the fine and I'll give it to that. Shut up. You shouldn't get fined. You shouldn't even talk to the media because that's part of your job and it's part of your contract. I'm with Lefty. Smokefella finger.
Wow, that's strong. PG.
Unanimous so far.
No comment. No comment. No comment. Do the Marshawn Lynch. Take your ass up there. Sit in front of that camera. No comment. Next question. No comment. Next question. You got to go in front of the media, bro. You're going to get fined. If you don't want to get fined, all you got to do is sit there, just like Marshawn Lynch, throw Skittles, no comment. That's it, man. That's it. Hey, all you got to do, bro.
But y'all got to, Kevin hit on something real key. The team is getting fined every time he doesn't show up. Now, the team is not going to keep paying 25 stacks every time he don't show up.
And what they need to do is they need to find him.
Right. Yeah, can't the team find him?
Yeah, the team can find him. They should be find him.
Why are we talking about a guy that said the earth is
flat? Right, Sly. Right.
Why are we talking about a guy that said he don't need a coach?
Mm-hmm.
And why are we talking about a guy that said the man is not clutch when he has the most game-winning shots in the playoffs at 7? So we talking about somebody that say he went to Duke. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't go to school there because he was hurt again. He's uneducated. He's an idiot. His parents ruined him. That is the sign of somebody that didn't have a struggle compared to LeBron and somebody do. Both his parents gave him the life he got. LeBron's mother did what she had to do for him. That's the difference. Kyrie is an idiot. Why are we even talking about it?
Yeah, those are facts.
Unanimous SmokeFella finger.
Unanimous.
Those are facts. So let's talk about some other drama that's going on in training camp right now. Harden has missed multiple practices to start camp, right? Then he shows up, has to go through his COVID test. And, initially they said that he was in COVID protocol. Until he showed up on social media with the little baby at the party, kicking it, no mask on.
Yeah,
no mask on, kicking it on purpose.
He's so smart.
Now he's come back and he said that he is willing to talk about possible trades to the Bucks, the Heats, the Sixers, and the Nets. Come on, man. Put your jersey on, lace it up, and get out there and fucking play. That's what I'm saying. If they decide to trade you, fine. If not, then you under contract to do what you're supposed to do. KDL, you touched on it earlier, man. Let's go.
If I was the Houston Rockets owner, and I have, over the last couple of years, hired Mike D'Antoni after you told me to fire Kevin McHale. I got Dwight Howard. You didn't like Dwight Howard. I got rid of Dwight Howard. You told me you wanted Chris Paul. Then you didn't like Chris Paul. I got rid of him. Then I brought in Westbrook, who is your boy. All of a sudden, you don't want to play with him either. So then I bring in a new coach that just so happens to be a brother. Got an opportunity to coach a superstar like you. And now you're telling me you don't want to be here anymore after I've given you $200 million. So if you'd have walked in my office and told me that you wanted to be traded, I would have told you no. Then I would have said, I got you on the contract for 2 more years. Get out of my office and close the door behind you. Goodbye. That's what I would have told him. And I would have told him every practice you miss, every training camp practice you miss, and every game you miss, I'm going to fine you every single day. Choice is yours. Again, get out of my office. Goodbye. That's what I would have told him. They done made every move possible for this dude. And now he's turning his back on him. Oh, I just want to go. I want to go. You embarrassing the black dude, the new coach, because he don't really know what to say. It's really between you and the owner. He's just getting there. So he's trying to play it off. Yeah, here in protocol. You at a strip club in Atlanta. And you taking a picture on social media on purpose. Like, come on, man. Get out. Get out.
Well,
that's all I got to say.
Well,
let's go, Sly.
Well, Fortuita just bought the team, so he didn't have nothing to do with all those other transactions, Kev. Second of all, I absolutely agree with you. But you know what? James Harden can't do what Le'Veon Bell did, because as far as NBA rules goes, if you don't play, if you don't play, no, it ain't even so much your contract still goes on.
Yeah.
So it ain't like you can sit out and then your contract over. They still hold your rights. So if you don't play, your time just keep going. I mean, your time stops until you get on the court. So he can't pull a Le'Veon Bell. First of all, if I am the Bucks of all teams, I want Harden, because Harden mixed with the Freak gonna send Kyrie and KD home. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm doing whatever I can to get it. But I agree. But you know what, though, fellas, we can't have it both ways. Football, look what they do. They can't move. Basketball, the players have took over. So I'm gonna stay neutral on this, but the way he did it, he could have done it a lot better. He could have did the Anthony Davis.
All right, Lefty, what's your thoughts on this?
So I'm actually shock y'all a little bit. Even though I don't agree with how he's going about it, I understand why he wants out. The championship window is closed over there. They tried it with these different moves. It didn't work. You moved on from the coach. Morey's gone out of there now, and it's I understand he wants out. He's still somewhat in the prime of his career. He wants to win, and I don't have a problem with any player that wants to win. But I think the more professional way of doing it is you go to management, say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this rebuild or this restructure. And I think the move with trading Westbrook for John Wall probably made it even worse, because you just pretty much went from sugar to what. I mean, it's not gonna. There's nothing's gonna come out of it. He's wasting the prime of his career. He wants out. Now he can go about it a different way.
Hey, Lefty.
He can definitely go about it a different way. So I don't have an issue with a player that doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild and doesn't want to be a part of this mess. They picked up John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. What is that going to do? What is that going to do?
It ain't gonna do nothing.
Now hold on. I got a question for y'all, man. You said he wants to win. I get you. But don't you think that he needs to adapt to his surrounding players, man, and stop playing this one-on-one isolation ball, and he's dominating the ball, shooting threes, step backs, and he's the only one that's controlling the ball? Come on, man. He has to change his game in order for him to start to win. So it's not just the team and who they selecting. He got to look in the mirror, man. He got to change his game up, because if you play like that, any team that you play against, man, is going to shut you down and lock you up. You're going to get the same results no matter where you go.
Hey, Ben, that's why him and Westbrook are the most difficult guys to either trade for or be a part of, because they're not changing their game. Harden will not change his game, and neither will Westbrook, and that's why they couldn't get along on the court.
I'll let PG go before I respond, though.
Hey, I agree with everything y'all said, man, but he made it look like a cry. He did it like a crybaby, bro, because now you breaking up the chemistry in Houston, where you're still under contract at, where you have to play until you are traded, and then you got other people looking at you like, man, I don't want that dude over here, man. If he's finna come over here crying and acting like a little prima donna over here, and he ain't gonna like being said, he got to change up his game at some point in his career, man, if he really want to win, bro. Because the style of ball he playing is not working for the team.
Well, let me disagree with you a little bit there, PG, and you, Ben. Well, the fact is, his style of play got them within a game of taking down the Golden State dynasty. If Chris Paul wouldn't have been hurt, they'd probably go to the finals. So, I mean, his style of play, even though a lot of us don't like it, but let's be realistic. Houston was making it pretty deep in the playoffs, and they were close to beating Golden State twice, even with his style of play. So they were right there. Now, adjusting his game, and he does need to step up in the playoffs. Maybe he does need to take a step back in the regular season so that he'll be a little more fresh for the playoffs. But that team was on the brink of going to the finals 2 years in a row. So we can complain about his game and all that all we want. At the end of the day, they have torn it down. Well, so now I don't want to be there. I was close. He wants a championship. I don't have an issue with him. And any owner, when a player turns down 50-something million a year, get him out of there. Yeah, why keep this drama going on? The man turned down 53 million.
I agree with you saying, Lucky. What I'm saying is, in order for you to get that championship that you want, you're going to have to make some adjustments somewhere, because it hasn't worked in Houston. And in order for you to go somewhere else, you're still going to have to go somewhere else. And you're going to have to make some kind of adjustment in order to get to that next step, that championship.
To me, man, everybody talking about Harden, man, got the most transcendent game in basketball. I don't know what you guys looking at. Harden got game.
Nobody saying that.
Harden being sick, what he about 6'6"?
I don't even think he that, but
yeah. He about 6'4", man. He about
6'4". Can handle the ball. Cat got a flamethrower. I'm gonna tell you, he played the group of people they put around him don't fit. If Harden had the Greek freak who can't shoot a jumper,
let me correct you
it
on
would
this,
be all
man.
time, man. I totally disagree.
And we talk about MJ. Those same words was talked about MJ in his first 5 years. He can score. He can do this. He's a dominant player. Until Mike changed his game, ran the offense that the coach wanted him to run, he could not win.
How did Mike change his game? Because he retired still shooting a hell of a lot. What did he change about his game?
Well, the triangle forced him to change his game.
The style he played in changed. He didn't change his game.
He changed his game. He started passing more. He didn't. Go ahead,
my bad. What Mike did was he trusted his teammates. That's how he changed the game. He still shot the ball. He still shot the ball 30 times a game.
He shot better shots.
But what it was, he trusted his teammates to be able to pass the ball to a Steve Curry, to be able to pass the ball to a John Paxson. He trusted his teammates. He believed in the system. He didn't necessarily change his game. He was still shooting the ball. I mean, he was still Michael Jordan.
Right.
But he trusted his teammates more is what he did.
Yeah, but the problem is, to me, at the end of the day, though, the same reason LeBron wanted out of Cleveland. Like, if you can't put the proper pieces around me to get me to the next level, and I want out, then I want out. It all started when they traded Capella for a bag of flaming hot Cheetos
and
with cheese on.
When
they got rid of Capella, when they got rid of Capella, that was you. And went this little small ball route, and now, and so let's put some of this on management. And now you pretty much tearing it down, and it ain't even a rebuild. You went and got John Wall, who probably has the worst contract in the NBA, and hasn't been healthy.
Russell Westbrook.
But the money, watch this.
$50,000 coming to him in the next 3 years. About a little over $20 million a pop for the next 3 years.
And the moves they made, James Harden signed off on. You know why? Because when they traded Capella, they went small ball, which means James Harden got to shoot the ball a lot more. He signed off on that.
Yeah, he had already won MVP. He won MVP before they did that.
Every single thing that Houston has done, James Harden was a part of.
I don't agree with
that.
People
kill me, man.
I don't agree with that, Ken.
I don't agree with it either.
Well, we can go back and forth, man.
James Harden got Howard fired. James Harden got Chris Paul sent out of there. James Harden got Westbrook because he wanted him. Come on, man. James Harden had to do with every single thing Houston did the last 5 years.
I don't agree with that. Go ahead, man. I don't agree with that. Go ahead.
We can ping pong and go back and forth with this discussion, and I'm sure we're not done with this because it'll come back on the podcast in later episodes, man. But listen, let's talk about this short off season for anybody that played in the bubble, especially the Heat and the Lakers. 71 days. The Lakers ain't even got time to enjoy the chip. They ain't got time to party, none of that stuff. It was basically the season is over with. We got a week to party, and now we back to work. Man, dude, how is this going to affect the season with the stars? Because guess what you're going to get a lot of? Load management. You're going to get so much of that, and people are watching TV because ain't nobody going really to the games and all that. So now they're going to be watching. They're going to want to see these stars. Our ratings going to fluctuate because LeBron is not going to play. AD is not going to play. Half the players on the Heat are not going to play. Especially for anybody that got hurt late in the bubble. Now they still in rehab. Your thoughts on that, Sly?
Well, you know what, man? Let me give you my thoughts on that. Let them sit down at the beginning of the year when we watching football anyway. Who cares? You're gonna watch Christmas, and then after that, you're not gonna watch it no more than February. Let them take their load, man. They only got 72 games. I think it's over in May or April. It ain't even going to June because they don't want to run it to the Olympics. So let them sit the next 2 months. We'll catch up with them in February when it starts to count. And then but they still got to play because you really can't load management and be 10 games out. And you only got 72 games.
Risk making playoffs.
Right. So all that you ain't gonna risk that. So it's gonna be some that do it. It's gonna be depending on how they do it. You might find it early with the Lakers and them, but they don't want to they don't want a team like the Clippers get too far ahead of them. So I'm not really too much worried about it. Kawhi, he's made famous for that. That's why everybody want to
leave. PG.
Hey, I agree, Sly, man. We already know it's gonna happen because we got a lot of players that's gonna be fatigued already. Like you said, something hurt. I think it will kind of mess up a lot of the chemistry because you got new players coming on to the team. You got these rookies you drafted. So now you're trying to incorporate everybody. So it's gonna happen. And me myself, I wouldn't mind seeing load management because at the end of the season, that's when I want to see the people that we coming to watch play. I don't want to get to the playoffs and then LeBron or AD hurt or Jimmy and the Greek Freak ain't playing because they got hurt because they was playing all these minutes during the regular 72 game. I'm okay with it, bro.
Or your light-skinned dude in Boston.
Yeah, Jason Tatum, baby.
So Lefty, your thoughts on this, but just keep in mind, this load management could make the way for a team like the Timberwolves, the Warriors to get a much higher seed, with them load management. And you got a team that can sneak by and get a much better seed as far as like a 5 or 6 versus a 7-8. Your thoughts?
Well, let me say this. Because of the times we in with this pandemic, there are going to have to be some adjustments made in order to finally get back on track, maybe in 2022. So there was going to be a sacrifice this year regardless. And the sacrifice was teams like the Lakers and Denver and Miami and the Clippers and Milwaukee were going to have to take a shorter offseason. That's why I think Rob Pelinka, when the Lakers repeat, will get GM of the year. You got to retool. You got to add depth. You got to get deeper so that you can limit the minutes of your stars, especially your older stars like LeBron. Limit, so that way, like AD and LeBron don't have to play 65 or 70 games after only having 21, only having like 3 months off or 2 months off, whatever it was. So I think it's something that the NBA has to do. I think out of all the sports, out of every sport, professional sport, I think the NBA is doing it right because the whole goal is get back on track for the following year. Their season was disrupted, and now you have to find a way. So you got 10 less games, even though you have a short off season, but it's up to each individual organization to add the depth that's needed so that your guys can rest so it doesn't affect them as much as it is. The contenders. I'm not talking about like the Bulls and the Knicks and teams like that, but you got to add depth. The Lakers went out and retooled. They went out and retooled. That's what you got to do.
Okay, so Kev.
Yeah, he took some of my
Kev. So now I'll throw this little caveat in for you. As far as are we making too much of this all season? Because remember, you've had players that have played in the Olympics for several years, and they playing throughout the summer, and then they come right back in. They right back into the season. So does this kind of give them a kind of benefit? Because that whole getting in shape, they didn't really have that time to, get fat or get lazy. They come right back in. So is this a benefit? Are we making too much of this offseason?
So I thought about this, and Damani took some of what I was going to say. I thought about this. I don't see LeBron and AD sitting out because you're right. Sly hit it on the head to where the West is good. Now you can't afford to get down in games and then try to play catch up throughout the season. The Lakers, Damani took what I was going to say. The Lakers retooled their bench. So LeBron and AD don't necessarily have to miss a game, but they don't have to play the whole game anymore because they got a better bench. So they won't load manage, but they won't play the whole game. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll close it or whatever. Now you got a better bench to where they can play a lot less. So they won't sit out. But the only teams that would affect really is the Lakers, Miami, and maybe Denver. But I don't see Pat Riley. Pat Riley don't do no load management either. Your stars are just not going to – like let's say January-ish, they won't play the whole game. They'll rev it up come February, March, but they just won't play the whole game. So I don't see the load management happening. And the players had to buy in and had to know, y'all got to sacrifice. Y'all going to get done, but y'all going to have to start right up because of the Bulls, the Knicks, Minnesota, the people that ain't played since March. They sat out. Y'all gotta understand. So they knew coming in that it was going to be a short off season. I don't see them load managing. I don't see it.
Okay. So, fellas, we've come to the end of Holding Court. We've talked about basketball. We'll get back to basketball next week on the show. It's time for Any Given Sunday, baby. Football news and notes. So we're going to start this off by going in the box.
Uh-oh.
Ivan, can I get KDL on one side?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Get Sly Dog on one side. All right. Here we go. In the box, we talking about Ohio State. Which one of y'all want to go first?
Don't
I'll
matter
let
to
Sly
me.
go. I'll finish it up.
Sly, let's hear what you got to say, baby.
Well, first of all, Ohio State, congratulations. The thing that kills me is people are all up in arms about Ohio State playing 5 games and making it. They would have made it in a normal year. This is an unnormal year. So guess what? The Big Ten made the rule of 6 games. But guess what? The Big Ten can change the rule too. They had already beat Indiana in their division, and they side of the Big Ten. They were going anyway. They got these 6 games when they beat Northwestern. Anyway, guess what? As you can see, they didn't even get kicked out of the Final Four because they can't. You need Alabama. You need Clemson. You need Notre Dame. You need Ohio State. So tell Florida, Texas A&M to go to hell.
All right, KDL, you up.
I could go so many ways with this. I'm gonna start off by saying this is all the Big Ten's fault because you should have started the season on time. First off, you made a COVID rule that if anybody catches COVID, you sit out 10 days, right? I recall Indiana sitting out 10 days. I would recall Wisconsin sitting out 10 days, who only played 4 games, by the way. I recall Michigan. This is the second week Michigan is set out. I remember Ohio State canceled a game last Friday, 10 o'clock at night. They were supposed to play Illinois the next day. They played last Saturday. Now, let me ask y'all, was that 10 days they sat out? Nope. So then you said, well, it's 6 games. None less than 6 games you get in. They played 5. We're going to change the rule. Now it's 5. Matter of fact, you automatically in the Big Ten championship. Why don't y'all go play Northwestern? So you changing the rules for Ohio State that you would not have done for Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin. You wouldn't have did that, right? You're not guaranteed to even win the national championship or be in the national championship game. Who says that? Your best win is Indiana, and you only beat them barely at the crib. Who else you beat? You're not dominant. So I get why they're doing it, but it's not fair to a senior at Wisconsin. It's not fair to a senior at Iowa.
Well, let me cut you off. Let me cut you off. Let me cut you off. First of all, I didn't hear you say the same thing about them putting Notre Dame in the finals in the championship game in the ACC. Same thing. They did the same thing the ACC did.
Notre Dame was playing 10 games, 11 games.
Nobody, the NCAA or nobody determined how many games you need to play to make it to be in the Final Four. The Big Ten came up the rule for their own to be 6. But as they noted, they won their division by beating Indiana head to head.
Barely.
So which means it doesn't matter, which means they would have made it.
So let me throw this out there.
You only played 5 games, bro. If it's 6 games, it's 6 games.
Let me throw this out there. The Big Ten Conference does not compare to the SEC or the ACC this year as far as dominant teams. So speak on that.
First of all,
exactly. So it's not the Big Ten is not a dominant. It's not a dominant conference. So for you to force Ohio State to stay at 4 when they play 5 games, and you got teams that's 10-1, 9-1, right? And you only played 5 games, and you ain't beat nobody impressive. You beat Indiana when they was hot, but they lost their quarterback. So that win don't really count. Who else you beat? So why should you be number 4 over Texas A&M, Florida, like you said, Teams that have played people and then played more games. Why should you be that way? You're not guaranteed to be in the national championship.
So you're gonna punish Ohio State in a not so conventional year, because they would have made it if it was 2020 in a conventional year. They still would have made it. Because you want to know how you know that? Because they won their conference and they're in the top Power 5. That's how. They would have won it regardless. If it would have been 2021, Ohio State going, because nobody, as Ben so eloquently put it in his absolutely terrible diatribe, that they would have won anyway. They was going to win. If it's so weak, they're going to win their conference. They're in the top 5 power conference. They're going, Kevin, not the Pac-12, not the Pac-12, not the Big 12. They're going, Kevin.
Hey, Sly.
If you play 5 games,
KDL, hold on. Now, you just made this same argument against Duke a couple of segments ago, and now it's okay for Ohio State. Kev, carry on.
Ohio, that's okay for Ohio. It's totally two different arguments.
Hey,
what?
Kev, let's go.
Dog, here's my biggest problem. You can't change the rules that this is all the Big Ten's fault, number one. But the Big Ten can't lay down 6 games, and then Ohio State is not going to play the 6th game. We're going to change the rules. Y'all go ahead. Y'all in the championship. That's ludicrous. That's number one. Then you made another rule, and you said if a team gets it, they got to sit out 10 days. Wisconsin have done that. Indiana has done that. Michigan, this is the 2nd week Michigan has lost a game. And you let Ohio State cancel on a Friday night and play the very next Saturday. And they played it off by letting the coach sit out, talking about the coach still had COVID, but the players can go play. We don't even know who caught COVID on Ohio State because they played the very next game, the next Saturday, less than 10 days. So you can't make up the rules and then have Ohio State rules. Like, you can't do that, bro. That ain't fair to me. They do not deserve to be in the top 4. They do not deserve. You could be in the Big Ten championship. You don't deserve to be. You don't deserve to be in the top 4, man. You don't. You only played 5. You only played 5 games. Get out of here, man. Everybody else has played 10, 11.
So now,
come in.
So now in the unconventional year, you're gonna determine how many games they should play to make it. You're not making any sense. The Big Ten didn't say anything. What the Big Ten do is do every day what you do. One day you decide to be in Phoenix, maybe the next day you decide to be in Vegas. They did it. They had the right to change it. They had the right to change it. It's their rule. It's their rule. They have the right to change it. And so they decided to change it because, and they didn't change it. They're going to play 6 games. It's just in the championship game. That'll be number 6 when they beat.
No, they did change it. They only played 5 games, so they did change it. The 6th game would have been against Michigan today. So they did change it. So let's stop that.
Only the coach had COVID, not the players. The coach.
Well, we don't know. We don't know because they played within the 7. They played within the 10 days. We don't know who had COVID on Ohio State.
Because it was no positive test on the players. Only
the first time.
How we know?
The first time ever in the box, we have somebody that want to get tagged in. Ivan, what's up?
Hey, hold on. So let me get this straight. So Duke could go ahead and make all these changes, right? So go ahead and complain and talk to somebody to make changes to the rules to play the lesser games so it looks better for them, right? But you are cool with Ohio State doing this. I don't understand. You're pissed about Duke, but you're cool with Ohio State pretty much doing the same shit?
You're not making any sense. They lost, Ivan. They lost 2 non-conference games to Illinois and Michigan State. He decided to go on a diatribe of why players, which he never cared about.
But they should have played.
Ohio State. No, they not changed. They didn't change the rule. Was they going to still go to the championship, Ivan, because they beat Indiana? Yes, that's all they said. They still was going to do it. It's not like
they only played 5 games, Sly.
They only played 5 games. Like, it's the same thing. They only played 5 games. So you're telling me Duke is you're pissed at Duke because they're limiting their amount of games. They're playing it that way, and Ohio State is trying to say, all right, these 5 games are cool, or these 5 or 6 games are cool because we think Ohio State's going to win. They haven't even played in the championship game yet.
First of all, you already know Northwestern's not going to win. They barely beat Illinois today. Second of all, They still was going to go. They beat Indiana. It's two different arguments here.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty much Duke saying, "Hey, we're going to make it. Like we know we're going to be there. So let's limit the games so we don't look bad because we already lost 2 non-conference games."
But their coach came out and complained. Ohio State coach didn't. That's what makes it different.
It doesn't matter.
Ohio State coach.
Let me tell you this: if they're gonna beat Notre Dame, which is why you don't want them there, I understand that. So it's still worthless, Ivan. Your argument is flawed. You can't compare the two. And then for you, Kevin, they were gonna make it in a non-conventional year. They was gonna make it in a conventional year. Ohio State is a top-tier program, my man. Get over yourself.
All right, that has been in the box. We will come back with in the box next week with a great topic, man.
Hey, can I say
he didn't tag in when they said something about Notre Dame?
Hey, can I say that was probably one of my favorite in the boxes. Great job, fellas. Great job.
Check it out, man. We are about.
I won.
We're about to. Ivan, take us to commercial, and when we come back, man, we're gonna give you Lefty's logic, man. So stay tuned to hear Lefty go in on Jerry Jones. We'll be right back.
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin and my kinky hair.
See me. Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet, split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Another deep. That's a deep one there, man. Yeah. So, as I stated, man, we got new segments all over the place today, and we are about to go to Lefty's Logic. Lefty, the screen is all yours.
It's been a long time since I did a Lefty's Logic, man. Thank you for bringing this segment back. So I'm gonna go a little unfavorable from what we've been talking about for a while now. One of the biggest offseason stories was Dak not getting his contract from the Dallas Cowboys. It's been huge. So I'm naming this this Lefty's logic, Jerry Jones in the catbird seat. Now check it out. We know what happened. Dak didn't get the contract. They didn't sign him to the long-term deal. With questionable about the Ezekiel Elliott contract and the Amari Cooper contract. But now look at what has happened during this season. Dak got hurt. They overpaid Andy Dalton, and he got hurt, and even still, they were terrible. Right now, Dallas sits at 3 wins with 4 games remaining. 3 wins with 4 games remaining. This is probably the strongest quarterback draft in the last 10 years, with 5 of the top 6 prospects are projected top 10 picks. The Cowboys right now recently sit at number 4. Number 4. So if you're Jerry Jones, what do? Do you go ahead and pay Dak off an injury, $35 to $40 million a year? Or do you take one of the top quarterbacks that everyone's predicting the potential to be franchise quarterbacks, trade away, get rid of Zeke and Amari Cooper with their big contracts while they have a lot of value, and rebuild? So before you call me crazy and before Sly tell me how high I am, because me and Sly argue about this all the time, let's go back to 89. 89. When Dallas Cowboys had probably the best running back in the league in Herschel Walker, and they made probably the biggest trade in NFL history. What was the result of that trade? Within the next 7 years, 3 Super Bowl championships. The result of that trade got the Cowboys Emmitt Smith, Darren Woodson, Russell Maryland, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and a few others that would accord to those championship wins. If I'm Jerry Jones and his son, Stephen Jones, whatever his name is, you got to strongly consider tearing this whole thing down. This core that you currently have is not going to win a Super Bowl. It's not a championship team. You've been to the playoffs a few times, or maybe twice, and you haven't even won. You didn't even win those games. So instead of tearing your cap up and paying Dak $35 to $40 million a year, and keeping Ezekiel Elliott, who you're currently paying $90 million, 6 years, $90 million, Amari Cooper, 5 years, $100 million, you have a chance to draft a possible franchise quarterback and have him under contract under a rookie deal for the next 4 to 5 years and go through a total rebuild, bring your cap back down, and start over. Jerry Jones, even though it's been a sacrificial year for the Dallas Cowboys, is sitting in the catbird seat. He can do so many things with that number 4 pick. Maybe you trade it for a team like the Bears who are desperate for a quarterback and get a boatload of picks, or do you take one of the top guys? What happens if Trevor Lawrence tells the Jets, I'm not coming there? Then you're either going to get Trevor Lawrence, or you can either trade up or you wait. You either have Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields possibly fall to you. The three teams in front of them right now: the Jets, the Jags, the Bengals, who already have their quarterback, and then the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is now sitting in the catbird seat with the chance of tearing this down and rebuilding Dallas and making them a contender within the next 2 or 3 years. You got CeeDee Lamb, who looks like he's going to be one of the great receivers in the league. Now you got a chance to correct the mistakes that you made with bad contracts to Zeke and Amari. Jerry Jones is now sitting in the catbird seat. Lefty's logic.
All righty, man.
All right, Lefty. I heard everything you said. It was making sense up until you said, get rid of Dak, get rid of Zeke, get rid of Cooper, all in the same year. That's when you lost.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason. Here's the reason. Right now, and I know me and Sly gonna go at it about it, but right now you can still get some pretty good value for Zeke and Amari. You can still get some top value for those guys. You can probably get about 2 or 3 picks for each one of those guys. They're still young. You are not gonna win with this core that's currently in place in Dallas.
The problem is he thinks he is, though, and he's not getting rid of Zeke, Cooper, and Dak all in the same year.
If he thought he was, Dak Prescott would be under a long-term contract, and he's not. Well, you gotta go back to 89 when they said they shocked the world with that Herschel Walker trade, and the result was 3 championships in 7 years.
Well, you see what Gandy says. Jerry Jones is never on a rebuild except in the beginning. To him, that would admit failure.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So
Right. That's why he's not going to do it.
okay, so let me give you my take. My take is, for the first time probably ever, the Dallas Cowboys have been kicked out of the primetime slot. That has never happened to Jerry Jones ever, because the Dallas Cowboys, regardless of how much you hate them, are the most watched team in football.
That's America's team.
That's period of point. But for him to get kicked out by Cleveland to play the Giants, Jerry Jones is having a fit right now. So let's be honest. Second of all, as much as it pains me, I need to agree with Damani, because I need Dak to get out of Dallas. Dallas need to rebuild. They're not going to give Dak his money. I need Dak to go. But the only problem is, Damani, Trevor Lawrence got another year eligibility. He can go back to school. That's where you're wrong at. He don't have to go to the Jets. He just go back to Cleveland. He just go back to Clips.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. But even you got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach.
He could pull an Eli Manning.
Trey Lance.
Them days over.
So wait. You got 4 of the top quarterbacks: Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields,
Mac Jones,
Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Mac Jones is moving.
Mac Jones is actually a junior.
Yeah, but he's coming out. He's coming out. And Kyle and Mac Jones, and even Kyle Trask from Florida, who's moving up boards. All I'm saying, this is the strongest quarterback draft class probably in the last 10 years.
Mac Jones will be a Bear. Just wait on it.
But this is a very strong.
No.
Here's your chance. Here's your chance to get out of that. And if you can do what Seattle did and get a franchise quarterback under a rookie contract and not tear your cap up and still add, you need to rebuild that defense. That offensive line has been hurt. Dallas needs help, a lot more help than just bringing Dak back. And this is his chance. He's sitting at that number 4 pick, which even if he decides to trade it, the value of that pick is through the roof.
Well, okay, since we brought up the Jets, let's talk about the debacle that just happened with the Jets.
Go Raiders.
The Jets fired a defensive coordinator and blame it all on Greg Williams because of the Fail Mary.
It is
Fail Mary, the debacle where they went for a suspect ass cover 2 defense.
Oh,
I really think they wanted to lose that game. And I really think it was a locker room blow up between Grease and Williams in their office, because he wanted to win the game. Grease was like, no, we need to stay in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstake. And I think all of this came to a head.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
So they threw the game. That's what you saying?
They threw that game because, man, you can see that the cornerback stopped pursuing, and he was. I know Ruggs is fast. Absolutely. But come on, man, he is not Tariq fast. He's not the cheater. He's not the cheater, man. Stop it. And that dude stopped. Again, if you go back, hold on. If you go back and watch the blitz, they could have gotten to Carr. They pulled up, man. They pulled up and let him throw this bomb, this Fail Mary, and then they win the game. Come on, man. All of this was suspect. But I'll let you guys go in on this. Please, KDL, what was your thoughts on this debacle?
First of all, they could have won the game on the play before that. They called it back. So the blitz, you're right. It was supposed to be a blitz dude that actually hit the quarterback. You're right. He didn't make it to the quarterback. The fact that you would call it in that situation is even more ridiculous, because you're leaving Ruggs one-on-one with a cat they can't keep up with. So that was stupid too. And if Gase fired Williams, he should have fired himself. Both of them. He shouldn't have just fired the defensive coordinator. You a big part of this too. You ain't developed. He should fire himself. Gase should have walked right out the door with Greg Williams, and the owner should have been there to see him out. Should have fired both of them. Because you don't fire Gase on black.
Let's be totally honest. Whether he won that game or not, Adam Gase is on a 4-week notice. He's not going to be there next year. He's not going to be there next year. And if you're upper management, like I've been saying, like I said in the logic segment, if there's a year to suck, this is the year to do it. Even if the Jets don't get Trevor Lawrence, even if they trade that pick, you know how many picks they're going to get for that, like the value of that pick. So you can, I mean, whether Greg Williams took a risk or whatever, or whether it was intentional or not, would that one win it really matter if they won the game?
No.
No, it wouldn't. They still gonna finish with the worst record. They still gonna get the number 1 pick. But what I'm saying is, if he took it out on Williams that it was so much of a bad play, then what about what you've been doing since you've been there? You showed up at the interview when you got hired hot for crying out loud. So why are you still there? They both should be fired.
Kevin, I don't care about the Jets or their fans. This week, I got to see Deshaun Watson play my Bears. I'm done. I don't care about nobody else. I don't want to hear nothing.
Well, let's be totally honest. To fire your whole coaching staff when you're 0-10 don't make sense. The damn season is over, and they got guaranteed contracts, and you're paying them anyway.
You might well just don't ride it out.
So what
it make a lot of sense
to make to fire him now? That's my point. You really making my point. If you're gonna fire somebody, and we know Gates gonna get fired on Black Monday, then he should have fired himself. They both should have walked out the door.
He already fired himself, Cam. He's already fired
Black Monday. But you're saying it don't make sense to fire nobody now, but they didn't. So I'm saying Gates is gonna get fired anyway. Detroit ain't having a problem. So they were right.
You tried to make Greg Williams a scapegoat off of one play for the whole season.
Right. Exactly.
And it'll make no sense.
They had to get into it, man. They had to get into it, man.
Of course they did.
They got into it and said some things. And Greg said this. He said this.
Yeah,
he said your mama. He said, well, your mama. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, you out of here.
So here's the question. I want PG to answer this for me. Does firing a coach or the whole coaching staff, even with the Bears situation, firing a coach when you're out of the playoffs, when you damn near 0-10, what does that do when I gotta pay you anyway?
It don't make no sense.
Call Houston and ask him.
It don't make no sense because now,
Detroit.
like you said, you're already out of the playoffs. The season is over with. Why fire them now? You might have gone to finish out this losing season. Let them go earn their little money and then go ahead and get rid of them after the season. Same thing with the Bears. Same thing with my
bottom line is the bottom line is the Jets suck. Who cares? Let's move on.
Let's go.
So my next question to you guys.
You don't want to put it in the top.
But we just had to talk about that, man. I had to let y'all go in for a minute, man. Let's talk about the land. Are they serious, man? We talked about the land last week at 8-3, coming up against the Titans. They destroyed the Titans, man. And when I say they destroyed them from all facets of football. On offense with the quarterback, on offense with the run game, the defense stepped up, and the special teams murdered them too. So now they're 9-3. Is this coach of the year candidate? Let's do a smoking ash on this. Lefty, you smoking too?
I'm gonna let Sly go. Sly got his hand up. Let Sly go.
Oh man,
he always because the only thing he know how to do is say Lefty. He don't know how to go to nobody else in the panel. Anyway. Let me tell you this. I'm the one who sat on this panel. Wow.
Thank you, Ivan.
I'm the one who sat on this panel and told y'all how good Baker is. You guys dogged me out. Lefty did, KDL did, PG did, and you did too, little man. Y'all dogged me out.
Little man.
So guess what?
Wow.
Guess what? Y'all need to come back and apologize to me and say, Sly, you was right on Baker all along.
Well, first of all, I would not do that.
Baker Mayfield is the reason why Cleveland's winning. Baker Mayfield is Cleveland. And guess what? I love all his progressive commercials. Your turn, KDL.
You as high as that lining on your beard.
Well, first of all, that's ridiculous. Number one, this has absolutely nothing to do with Baker Mayfield. They are winning on their defense and they are winning on their running game. This has nothing to do with Mayfield. The only thing Mayfield is not doing is for not turning the ball over, but crying out loud every game he was doing early in the year. So they took it with their running game and their defense. Baker Mayfield just gets them first downs and they win the game. This has nothing to do with Baker Mayfield. This is about the running game and defense. Now, here's the question. Will they beat Kansas City in the playoffs? Will they beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs? Will they be, So now let's see if they for real on that. They got a good record and they ain't gonna have a losing season.
They got Pittsburgh again.
Let's go, PG.
again.
Let's go,
There you
PG.
go.
PG, you got your mute on.
Unmute, Pete. Unmute, Pat. Unmute.
Pat, you muted.
Unmute.
Santa Claus, unmute.
Unmute.
He looked like that man that got a bad kid.
All right, well, until he come back. You back, Pat?
He's still on mute, man.
Pat, you still muted.
That's
Unmute.
a mute, man.
Unmute. Well, until Pat figured out the unmute.
Are you high?
Until Pat figured out the unmute. You know what? Let me say this. I was wrong about Cleveland, but not for the reasons that my buddy Sly said. I don't think it's because of Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
The coaching staff has done a great job. The coaching staff has done a great job of putting him in positions where he can succeed. Like Kevo touched on, that defense is playing great. Their running game, which is opening up play action for them. And now he's spreading the ball out instead of trying to force it to Odell. So they are looking good. Do I think do I think they can beat KC or Pittsburgh? No, I don't. But after that whooping them Tennessee they put, they got to get your attention. They got to have your attention. That was a great game, but Cleveland, all on like every side, special teams, defense, they are playing good football. Baker is a big part of, I'll give you that, but I'm not going to go back and say I was wrong about Baker Mayfield.
Baker destroyed the Titans. He did. It wasn't Chubb. He did.
What was his touchdowns off of play action, right? Because Tennessee played Baker to beat him. They played to stop the run, and they played for Baker to beat him, and he beat them. And that's what he did. That's good football. I ain't taking nothing from the man. I ain't taking nothing from him. He balled out.
That's actually the first winning team they have beaten during this winning streak. But that's neither here nor there. Carry on.
Pat, you still muted.
Oh, man.
Pat, you still muted.
What is he doing, man?
Unmute.
Hey,
come on, son.
Hey, y'all get this? That's that Dunbar education.
Dang.
Hey.
He's still talking.
Hey, fellas.
You still muted.
Hey, fellas.
Somebody text Pat and tell him he's muted.
Come on, Pat.
Hey, fellas.
Still muted.
Now, all season long,
all
season long, we have pretty much we went in on Kev.
I got to go. I'm going.
On a serious note, man. On a serious note, man. We have gone on Kev for basically all season, and we have talked about the G-men so much.
Don't do it
right now.
Don't do it.
I gotta give Kev the floor because they kings of the NFC East right now. They went in and put a whooping, even though it was 17-12. They put a whooping on Seattle with Colt McCoy behind it. Now they are currently in first place. They kind of own it right now. It's theirs to lose. So Kev, I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes. Go ahead and have your shine, man, because we've been rough on you this year.
Well, first of all, I appreciate that, Bernard. The New York Giants are in first place right now. They are playing. You say Cleveland is playing good football. So are the New York Giants. They won last week without Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will be back this week. They are winning on running game and defense. They are one of the top defenses in the league right now. They are getting turnovers. They are getting sacks. So they do enough. Daniel Jones finally stopped turning the ball over. They've won every game ever since. He runs now instead of throwing the risky pass. He actually takes off and runs. Their defense is leaving them in games, and they're taking over games because of it. Yes, they're not a juggernaut throughout the league. I'm not going to tell you this is straight handing them all over again. No. But where they came from and where they are now is a hell of a difference. Thank you for giving me the floor. Thank you for recognizing what you're seeing every Sunday. Thank you very much.
All right. That's enough out of you. PG,
hey,
you back, man? You
hey,
back?
Man.
Oh, my God.
I apologize. My wife called me, man. The car stopped, so I was trying to see what was going on with it. I thought I was gonna have to leave, but it was just a battery post, so I'll take care of that when she get home. Man, this man is hot, man. Why you even put him on the spotlight talking about the Giants? Are you crazy, man? When you get through talking, Kev, you talking about the Giants, man. Washington right there with the Giants. They 5-7. They playing much better ball than they've been playing. Man, don't get yourself hyped up for nothing, bro. Yes, they are. They're 5-7.
They 5-7, but the Giants beat them twice, so the Giants are in first place. That's number one. And yes, they got 5 wins. So do that team on Soldier Field that's playing there tomorrow.
We weren't talking about that. We talking about the East, though.
Hey, let's stop all this.
We talking about the East.
Stop all this. Kev, you was doing good until you started bringing in the Bears.
We still talking about the East, bro.
I gave you that.
We talking about 5 wins.
I gave you your shine, man. No, we was talking. I'll let you get your shine. So now,
I appreciate it.
Are the wheels falling off for these franchises, man? The Eagles, remember they just won. They just won a chip. Now the wheels have fell off. Well, now they starting Jalen Hurts over Wentz. Doug Peterson's offense is horrible. They drafting is overall been horrible. Now you got the Ravens. The wheels are falling off the Ravens, and the Ravens ain't been right ever since they got their ass kicked in the playoffs last year versus the Titans. It's like after that, everybody knew how to play them, and it's been a rough turning. Now, I also got to throw my Chicago hometown Bears. Every year, they got on paper, they look like they can be a 10-win team. Second season in a row when they underachieving, man, with these offensive woes, and plus they've been on a 6-game losing streak. So let's talk about these 3 teams. And all right, angry man, you threw your hand up there. Let's go.
First of all, Doug Peterson and Matt Nagy can go to hell. The best player to come out of the best coach to come out of that system is Frank Wright, and he's absolutely showing it in Indianapolis. Second of all, Baltimore is better than both of them teams. As far as the Bears, I got to see Deshaun Watson play this weekend. Absolutely pathetic. I'm not talking about them ever again. We got to see Deshaun play Sunday, and any of y'all as Bears fans, y'all should shake y'all heads. Absolutely disgusting.
PG.
I have to agree. I have to agree with the angry man. I really don't want to see Deshaun Watson. I think the defense will turn it around again a little bit this week, man. And hopefully they have a game plan for Deshaun Watson, just like they had a game plan when we thought Derrick Henry was going to run all over the Bears. That's it, man. I'm just tired, man. The Bears, just tired. I'm tired, Lucky. I love the Bears, but I'm tired, Lucky.
I got you.
Lefty, speak on these 3 teams, man, and your thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna answer your question. Yes, yes, and yes. That's simple. 3 yeses. All three are falling off. All 3 windows are closed. All 3 need to consider tearing it down and starting over. There was a little window there where they could have been good for a year or 2, possibly snuck into a Super Bowl, possibly even won a Super Bowl. Even though the Eagles did get one, even though Wentz got hurt that year. But, I think the key to franchises like the Patriots, you look at the Steelers back in the 70s and 80s, and like some of the better franchises in football, is you got to know when enough is enough, which goes back to my Lefty logic. You got to know when what you got on that field is not going to get you where you want to go. And you got to know when to throw the towel in and say, this isn't working. How do we start over? Doug Peterson had his time in Philly. Just from the contract, they thought Wentz was the guy. And what was the third team? It was the Philly, the Bears, and the
Ravens.
And the Ravens. Now I will say the Ravens. I'm not as hard on them, but the fall off I think is more or less from Pittsburgh improving and Cleveland improving, and they have figured Lamar out. Baltimore has had some injuries, and this COVID thing with the schedule has got them all twisted up as well. But I don't see them winning it either. I don't think Baltimore should tear it down and rebuild, but they definitely need to retool. Lamar, I think the league has figured him out. And we called it early in the year that defenses figure you out. And now we're starting to see the reason he fell the way he fell in the draft: overthrows, not being accurate, and teams are playing him to run and trying to force him to beat him with his arm, and he's not getting it done.
Baltimore is not there yet. Baltimore just needs to change the way they play. They are an entirely different team than they were last year.
Defense is still good, though. Their defense is still good.
That's what I'm saying. So the defense is still good. They need to change. He needs to coach up the offense. They need to play different. You have to play to Lamar's strength. Whether he's figured out or not, still one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. He needs to just change the style of play. He is not a pocket passer. Stop trying to make him one. So
how do you change the style of play when your quarterback can't hit open targets?
But he's a runner. He's more runner than he is passer. Everybody knows that.
So you saying run the option 80-90% of the time?
No, I'm not saying
you're gonna run a quarterback keeper 80-90% of the time on the field.
I never said anything about 80-90%. What I said was he's not a pocket passer. You can't take the strength of a dude and make it something else, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying 80-90% range, but he needs to do what he does. He's not a pocket passer.
His strength is running.
Yes.
His strength is running. How do you adjust your offense when your strength is running the ball as a quarterback? You either damn running back, or you're a quarterback who can throw the ball, hit an open man, read a defense, not just running the football. Right. It's caught up to him. Period.
I'm not saying he does not need to get better at passing. What I'm saying is you cannot just take his run away and make him a pocket passer, because that's not him. That's all I'm saying. So the question was the organization.
Technically, Kev, the defense are playing him more for make him
run.
A passer.
Yeah, they spying him.
Yeah, so that run game is over with. But since we're talking about
we were talking about organization, though.
Right, we're talking about a former MVP. So let's talk about some MVPs, right? This MVP race this year. Now, is it clear to say people that are no longer in the running is Russell and Tom? They're no longer in the running anymore. So now you got, if you agree with me, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Number 2 is Josh Allen. Number 3 is Aaron Rodgers. And number 4, Devontae Adams. Do you all agree with this? Or you got another lineup that you would put in?
Patrick Mahomes is probably going to get it. Aaron Rodgers is number 2.
What?
Yes, Aaron Rodgers is number 2. You can put Josh Allen up there if you want. I personally wouldn't. I think it's going to come down to Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, Sly.
When Aaron Rodgers, there will be no Devontae Adams. So let's stop that.
Sly. I know you got some issues with this, so let's go.
First of all, I agree with you. No, first of all, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes number 1, of course. When my boy Russell then fell out, but I got to go with Josh Allen number 2. I mean, Baltimore ain't been good, and I don't know. Buffalo ain't been good, and I don't know when. And to be honest with you, now Josh Allen got a cannon, the strongest cannon in football. They saying Josh Allen got the strongest cannon in football over Rodgers, over Mahomes, over all of them. You got to go with Josh Allen number 2, Aaron number 3. And if you ever in your life disrespect Derrick Henry like that again, little man, we're gonna have issues. Throw Devontae Adams in the garbage.
Right, cutting you off because that's the second time that you referred to me as little man. So when I see you in the street, you getting a Nate Robinson. Put it like that. You getting a Nate Robinson. PG, what's your thoughts on this?
And secondly, Sly, Josh Allen is not Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead, PG.
Hey, man, I'm going a totally different way, man. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers first.
What?
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers first. And the only reason I'm going with Aaron Rodgers first, man, Aaron Rodgers started off the season with nothing. Adams was hurt. Jones was hurt. And they still have been winning. Aaron Rodgers has threw 36 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. If you look at the team that the Chiefs have, Patrick Mahomes is still up there. I'm like Lucky. I'm giving 1A and 1B. He has a lot more offensive weapons to work with on that Chiefs side. So of course he's going to really look good. But when you look at both of those teams, Aaron Rodgers is working with a lot less than Patrick Mahomes.
Good question,
Josh Allen is definitely going to be there. And I hate to say Aaron Rodgers because he's a Packer. So there it is.
All right, Lefty, bring it home.
Well, I'm not going to go as far as Pat to move Aaron Rodgers ahead of Patrick Mahomes, but
he high.
I'm not going to go that far. But I would switch Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. You know, everybody wrote Aaron off. They drafted Jordan Love. Everybody drafted Jordan Love and thought Aaron was done, and he was on his way out of Green Bay. And that offense is immaculate. I know they slip up against Tampa Bay, and a little couple of games, but man, Aaron is the catalyst. Like, where would that team, when we talk MVP, most valuable player, you got to think, where would this team be without this particular player? Where would the Packers be without Aaron Rodgers?
That's a damn good question. That's a damn good question.
They'll be down there with Detroit.
So ask Josh Allen the same thing then.
That's a damn good question. Well, we don't know, because the one good job Buffalo has done is they have played to Josh Allen's strength, and the running game is solid. The defense is solid. That's a big part, and it's opened it up for them. Teams are threatening Josh Allen to beat him. When you go into a game against the Chiefs and the Packers, you're planning for Mahomes and Rodgers. You're planning for those guys, and they still lighten it up. Like, defenses are basing their whole game plan on stopping those guys. I don't know if necessarily teams
Buffalo doesn't have a run game.
Wait, but I'm just saying, I don't know if teams are necessarily going in basing their defensive schemes and patterns on stopping Josh Allen.
How come
they're going in trying to stop Mahomes and Rodgers.
Name their running back.
And they can't.
Name their running back. Because I can name Aaron Rodgers running back, who is probably the best running back in football. So give me Josh Allen.
Jones ain't no best running back in football.
He in the top 5.
Why slap that lining off your beard? Ain't no running back in the damn league.
Ivan,
Josh Allen,
man?
I'm gonna fully agree with Sly. They got nobody in that backfield. Nobody to save them. They got Stephon Diggs, and who else? Really? You know what I'm saying? Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen needs to be a game plan for, because that's all they got. That's all they have is Josh Allen versus everybody else.
But Ivan, they not game planning for Josh Allen. Are they game planning for him?
Yes, they don't have a running back. Aaron Rodgers got a running back.
You
Come
get
on, Damani.
Josh Allen. You got the
second-year running back. You got the second-year running back in Singleton.
Hey, Ivan. No one prepares for Josh Allen. Let's stop this.
Who do they prepare for?
Secondly, the Buffalo's defense has locked. Secondly, Josh Allen can show up. Josh Allen can show up tomorrow, and he could be Sam Darnold. Aaron Rodgers can show up tomorrow. Aaron Rodgers will be Aaron Rodgers. So let's stop this. And there's no way Josh Allen should be over Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying Josh Allen is not a good player.
You crazy.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to get. He's the only thing they have.
That's it.
I get you that.
I don't agree with that.
Man, okay.
He has wide receivers and he has a defense.
The Packers are running the football. Their running back is good. Josh Allen, they're not running the ball. He's throwing it. What are you talking about?
Did you just hear Pat's stats on Aaron Rodgers? What was it, Pat? 34 touchdowns?
He got 36 touchdowns.
36 touchdowns. How many interceptions?
Up against terrible teams. When they play somebody, he lose. When they play Tampa Bay, he lost. Anybody good, he can't beat them.
Everybody. Josh Allen had a bad game.
Come on, man.
Fellas, I like this.
Say Josh Allen is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Stop, man.
I want to give a shout out to Lawrence Booz, man. He chimed in. He been commenting. Booz, man, we need you on the show, man.
What up, bro?
Quit ducking us, man. Come on the show with us.
You said Buffalo is overrated.
Let's
He's high too. He high. Whoever he is, he high too.
Well, anybody high that puts Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, what games are we watching this year?
Hey.
That's ridiculous.
I choked that Beijing off your face.
Oh, whoa. Man, he allergic to Beijing. He ain't got no Beijing.
Sly, you got your notes, man?
Let's go.
You got half Beijing, half.
You right.
Sly,
you raggedy.
Fly.
Bring up, you know what? Bring up my boy, man. I don't know, all y'all. Bring up. No, I don't want KDL no more. Give me Damani.
All right, Ivan, put Damani and Sly on the board, man. It's time for what's your fantasy, man. Let's go.
Sly make me drink. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you drive me to drink. First of all, you know why I brought you up? Because I'm starting off with my QB, Mr. Josh Allen against the Steelers. Start him or sit him, sucker.
What are you asking? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna start them because Pittsburgh they got some injuries on defense, and they haven't looked good the last few weeks. They didn't play this COVID schedule. They got them a little tight. So Josh Allen hot right now. I wasn't disrespecting Josh Allen by any means.
It sounds
like I know it did. I know it did, but in fantasy, I don't care who you're going against. You always go at the hot hand. Josh Allen is hot right now. You got to start.
Yeah, I'm starting too. Man.
Y'all gonna start him. What y'all think about? Hey, Ben, what you think about Nick Chubb against the Ravens? Since they do play him this week.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Nick Chubb been beasting everybody, so I'm starting him. He about to get this work, and he's gonna put that work on the Ravens defense, man, and he's gonna have 100 yards. Starting him.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree. And if you have a better option on the bench, Ravens' run defense is still pretty solid. It's still pretty solid, and it depends on your bench. If you have a slightly, if you're teetering,
2 touchdowns.
So let's say, and I'll go to hometown. If you're teetering between, say, David Montgomery and Nick Chubb, depending on the matchup, right? And the Bears and Texans run defense isn't that good. I think you have to consider going David Montgomery over a Nick Chubb. The Ravens' run defense still isn't that bad, man.
But Pro Football Weekly got the Browns' offensive line #1 in the league. So remember that.
True.
Remember that. True. Hey, so here we go. I'm gonna bring up third and short guy, Allen Robinson against the Texans wide receiver.
I think you start him. Texans defense isn't good. They struggling. I know Allen Robinson pissed me off last week with his idiotic not get the first down move he did. But Allen Robinson, Allen Robinson, man. I mean, when you talk about dependability, can catch the ball, catch it in traffic, I would go Allen Robinson. I'll start him.
Okay, Allen Robinson is on my fantasy team, and guess what? I'm sitting him. And the reason I tell you why I'm sitting him, because every time the ball is thrown to him, he has to jump to catch the ball, and he gets no run, no yards at the catch. So I'm sitting him. He has burnt me for several weeks. I'm sitting him.
All right. Well, I
got a better option.
I got to bring up this dude because he completely destroyed me last week. He completely destroyed me. That's why I might lose to Damani, be out of the playoffs. What about PG? I'm playing this week. What about Waller against the Colts?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not. If I got a better option, I'm going with somebody else over Waller because he gonna get hit hard every time he catch that ball across the field. The Colts is gonna put that hammer on him. Now, if he gonna go ahead and stay long, he might he might have a beast game because last week I think he was off that Taylor. He was off that last week.
But he put me out the playoffs.
Hey, but let's be realistic. The Colts defense don't look as strong as they did early in the year. They have fell off a little bit. But that's another one of those situations. If I'm teetering between options, you know, who I got on the bench, if I'm teetering, I might go the other way, depending on the matchup. I don't like Waller against the Colts, though. I really don't. I don't.
Well, you know what? I was gonna go Ravens Browns, but I'm gonna switch it up real quick. What y'all think about Atlanta defense against the Chargers offense? Because I think they play this week.
Simple. They about to get felt on. In the words of my man Sweets, they about to get felt on. I'm taking the Chargers offense all day. Keenan Allen and my tight end, they about to eat off Atlanta. Atlanta's defense sucks.
And offensive rookie of the year.
And
Yes, sir.
my thing is, I'm gonna say what Lefty said a couple of weeks ago. They about to get me too'd. They about to get me too'd.
You better go Chargers offense. I would take damn near anybody against Atlanta's defense. Real talk. I would.
Well, it showed last week. All right, that's stardom and sit-up this week in fantasy. Appreciate it, fellas.
All
right, fellas. You can bring everybody back on the board, and let's talk about potential games of the week, man.
Hold on, man. Before we go any further, that was very disrespectful of one of the greatest players of all time, Lawrence Taylor. But carry on.
His agent just called me, man. Lawrence Taylor agent just called me and said he want to talk to you.
What y'all say?
Hey,
yeah,
y'all, you know.
That's very disrespectful, man.
You know. That's why he had a hell of a game last week.
It's facts, though.
He was off that LT. He's off that LT, baby. But let's talk about some potential games of the week. And since we were just talking about the Raiders, Colts. It's a must-win for the Raiders to stay in the AFC playoff race. I'm going to come to you, KDL. What's your thoughts on this game? The Raiders are 7-5. The Colts are 8-4. Who you got?
I got the Colts. The Raiders almost lost to the Jets, for crying out loud. So I got the Colts. The Colts lead the game. They got a Tennessee lose and gives them a shot at the division. So I'm going with the Colts. I think they need the game more.
So we just talked about the Ravens, 6-5, Browns 9-3. It's a must-win for the Ravens to even have a thought about making the playoffs. Lefty, what's your thoughts on this game?
I'm gonna go Ravens. You know, just when we think the Browns are there and everybody start feeling good and throwing on their orange and brown, and they let you down. And I still think John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the NFL. So I can't see the Ravens just taking a total total downfall. I think the Ravens come out this week and pull it off against Cleveland.
Okay, because they got all their running backs back. They seem to be COVID-free. So we'll see. That's a game to watch. So.
Well, did Dez retire or is he playing?
No, now he is the one
on COVID.
He's the one that's in COVID, but Dez stats is he got 3 receptions, 28 yards in 3 games.
So who cares?
Nobody's gonna miss him. Nobody cares.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He's not a factor.
So PG, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get on this one. And I'm not coming to you to KDL because you talked about your team. You got the Giants at 5-7 versus the Cards 6-6. This is serious playoff implications now, especially for the Cards. And the Giants gotta win to stay up top. So who you got in this game, PG?
I got the Arizona Cardinals, man. I know Kevin said that New York's defense is hot, but you still got to contain Kyler Murray, man. Right now, it ain't too many teams who actually been able to contain this boy. So I'm still gonna go with Kyler Murray, man.
Okay.
Well, every other team been doing it. I don't see why the Giants cannot. He ain't won a game since he threw that Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins. You notice Arizona ain't won a game since.
Hey, Ben,
well,
how did he get to respond to that?
I don't know. I don't care. All right. You got the Vikings at 6-6 and the Bucks at 7-5. It's a must win for both teams. The Vikings are trying to get that wild card, and the Bucks are trying to keep pace with the Saints. Angry man, what you got?
Oh, I got to go with the Bucks all day. You think I'm going to trust Kirk Cousins, Chicago's own? Never. Kirk Cousins is absolutely, he'll let you down right when you need him. Bucks all day. Tom Brady has a field day on the young rookies out there playing the back end on that Vikings defense.
Kirk Cousins will let you down like Pookie when he went undercover in New Jack City.
I don't even care about Kirk Cousins. All I want is Dalvin Cook still to eat.
Come on, man. You say he gonna be dancing
Never.
in the drug spot?
Never.
Slide word about
Gotta
that Dalvin Cook.
exercise.
Never.
He got to
Oh,
face Dalvin
no,
Cook
man.
this week.
Come on, man. That's foul, Lefty.
That's foul, though, man.
That's
foul, man.
Pookie when he went undercover. Wow.
Hey, but just to throw this out there, I will have a bye week for this fantasy, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, you ain't gonna win it. Don't worry about it. But look, man. Y'all
I
got
done
any upsets?
went from first to last.
We got one more game, man, before we start talking upsets and stuff like that. We got the Steelers at 11-1, and we got the Bills at 9-3.
That's the game of the week.
That's the game of the week, man. So we all can chime in on that. But I'll start off with you, Sly. Who you are the Steelers about to wake up, man? Because they can't go in playing the way that they've been playing against the Bills. I'm sorry.
Well, Mike Tomlin, all the way around this year, he lets me down. Go Josh Allen, go Bills.
Oh, Lefty.
Slack can go to hell. Mike Tomlin is still one of the best coaches in the NFL, and he should go down as one of the best coaches in NFL history. I can't see no way he lets his team continue to play as bad as they're playing. I'm going to put a little bit of their downfall on this COVID schedule. It looked like they back to somewhat of a normal, get a normal work weekend. I think Pittsburgh comes out and pulls it out against Buffalo.
Yeah.
KDL.
I got Buffalo, man. This is the one game I had Pittsburgh losing in the first place. I said they would lose at Buffalo. I said they would not go undefeated. I'm sticking to it. I think Buffalo wins at home because of their defense. And Pittsburgh are losing defensive players every week. So the offense can't run the ball. They've been barely winning, and they caught up with them last week. They definitely will not beat Buffalo at Buffalo.
Bet on black, brother.
Well,
bet on black.
I love Tomlin. Don't get me wrong.
It looks like, Ben, you're going to be the tiebreaker this time because I'm going with Pittsburgh. And one reason why I'm going Pittsburgh couldn't run the ball. And the reason why they couldn't run the ball because James Conner was out. James Conner is back. So now Pittsburgh will be moving the ball down the field with running and passing. And the defense is going to stand up. They're going to turn around this week. They lost the one game that you said they wasn't going to go undefeated. They lost that game. It's over. They back to winning now, buddy. I'm going Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Ben,
at Buffalo?
So
at
Buffalo goes to me, right?
Yep.
I'm going with the Bills because Bills are hot right now, and I don't. Tomlin is my boy, but I just don't trust Mr. Unbreakable. Big Ben. Big Ben is not the Big Ben that we have seen. He is managing games right now. His long ball don't look that good no more. His selection, he not even dumping down like he normally would to the running back, checking down. He's not doing that. It's like, my goodness, Ivan, I know you want to jump in.
I thought to jump in.
Let's go.
He's throwing the ball 50 times a game, bro. They're not even attempting to run. And Pat, you telling me one dude makes you not attempt to run the ball?
Mike Tomlin.
They didn't try to run the ball, but they didn't have nobody run the ball.
Mike Tomlin is one of the best adjusting. Mike Tomlin's one of the best adjusting coaches in football.
No, he's not.
I love Tomlin.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. This ain't got nothing to do with Tomlin. It got to do with the team.
Watch how they come out.
You can't throw the ball 50 times a game and think you're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, you can't do that. You don't even attempt to run the ball.
No, you're right. Like, they can't. Like, James Conner's been missed, right? James Conner's been missed. Like, I never even thought he was that important to that team. But just one running back that's competent. I mean, not that those two other running backs aren't competent, but they're not James Conner. Like, there's a huge gap between the talent of James Conner and the talent of the other two running backs, and Benny Snell, and I forgot the other guy, the other one's name. But I think you're right. You can't expect him to throw the ball, sit there in the pocket 50 times, and for that line to hold up consistently throughout the year, and then deep into the playoffs when they're going to send everybody and their mama at you. Like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way. So you have to find some way for, like, Conner has to come back. He has to come back strong, and he needs to stay healthy. That's period. Because
Ivan, who are you going with?
Pittsburgh.
All right.
Hey, Ivan, I'll see you Sunday pregame.
Okay.
No, well, also, and I think what we haven't talked about, we haven't touched on is that Pittsburgh kind of plays down to their competition. But in those big games, Pittsburgh shows up, man. They show up. They're gonna be ready for Buffalo.
They have been dumbing down to their competition.
Yeah,
they overlooking them and looking to the next game like, oh, we got this. But they have.
Well, I agree with that. Pittsburgh does that. I agree with that.
And three games in 12 days in football, man, that's tough, man. Like they whole routine has been thrown off due to because they have to adjust because of this COVID scheduling. I think Tomlin gonna have Pittsburgh on point. Watch how they look against Buffalo.
Tomlin has lost consecutively to Bill Belichick because he got our coach. I like Mike Tomlin, but stop giving him prep.
You know how he took that team. He took that team when everybody thought that team was washed. He brought them all the way back to this undefeated with the defense that is super. They can win the Super Bowl. I think honestly, the Super Bowl pick. Like if I wanted to pick right now, I could look at Pittsburgh versus LA in the Rams. I can see that as a Super Bowl.
That's strong.
Oh, that's strong.
Pittsburgh is not beating Kansas City. Y'all
Pittsburgh
know that.
is not beating Kansas City. And
remember over the last 2 years, they said they was like, oh, Tomlin lost the locker room and all of that. But look at them now. Look at me now.
Pittsburgh is not beating Kansas City. Are you high? And they
Pittsburgh is not beating Kansas City at Kansas City.
Hey, fellas, who was the biggest upset of this week? Lefty.
What's my options? I really don't know. I really don't see no big upsets this week. You're approaching right now the playoff race. Everybody's playing for seeding, and you got teams that's playing for wild cards. I really don't see any upsets. I think every team that's playing for something is going to come out and handle their business this week. So no upsets, man.
For me, I think the biggest possible upset is the Vikings and the Bucks game. So that's the biggest.
My biggest upset is hopefully my Raiders beating the Colts. Please, for me, Gruden, win a goddamn game at the end of the season.
Is that really an upset, though?
Yeah, because they just got beat by Atlanta, and the Jets should have beat them.
Would y'all look at Cleveland beating Baltimore, even though they're home? Cleveland beating Baltimore, would you call that an upset?
No.
Not at the state of the Ravens. You might say, yeah, you can call that one.
I think reputation-wise, it's an upset, but no, it wouldn't be. Not the way they both teams are playing right now. No.
Yeah, about the reputation, I agree with you on that.
Tampa Bay has to win because if they don't, they're going to let Minnesota in the playoffs. Tampa Bay has to win.
That's why I call that the biggest potential chance for an upset. PG, what you got?
Hey, I'm gonna go with that Vegas game over in Indianapolis. I think that would be a bigger upset to me.
You just said that because you know what? I hate you.
I said Vegas over Indianapolis, man.
Oh, okay.
That would be an upset to me, man.
Yeah.
But listen, we all know for the past, when you want to say 3 years, the second half of the season for the Raiders has been atrocious.
We running out of time. Hey, look here, man. hey, you know what?
Hey, man, we gotta wrap it up.
We had a great show today. We love everybody for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Humidor Shop Talk, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and give an MVP out to Slider. I think you were on point today a little bit, Slider. Except for that Ohio State Duke. I don't know. With that, I feel like you're teetering on like same but different type of a decision. But I'll give you the MVP.
Only thing he was on point on was the Beijing at the top of his beard.
He lost that.
I'm allergic to Beijing.
Come on, PG.
Hey, man, thank everybody for tuning in. It's good to be back with my fellas, man. It's good to be back to 99.5% of health. I'm glad everybody is doing well. Keep protecting yourselves, fellas, because this COVID stuff is still real and it's serious. So that's it, man.
KDL.
Appreciate everybody for watching per the usual. Appreciate everybody following us, commenting, all that. Appreciate it. Tonight, Border War, and the loser has to buy drinks. So hopefully Illinois pulls it out like they're supposed to because they are the ranked team. Go Illini.
Lefty.
Yeah, just repeating what everybody else said. Thank you all for tuning in every week and following us and commenting. This is the sports fans. You know, this is like the best time of year for sports fans. We got between baseball free agency, NFL heating up, playoffs, NBA starting, college basketball, college football is getting into the meat of it. So, man, this is sports fans fantasy. NCAA can go to hell, basketball and football. And I'm going to leave on that. Level up.
Hey, Ben, I got a message for one of our viewers.
Gandy sucks. Those are facts, man. Those are facts, man.
Ho.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Humidor Sports Podcast, man, by way of SportsZone Chicago, man. Ivan, thank you for all that you do.
Ivan.
And as I said at the beginning of the show, this show was dedicated to all the healthcare workers out there, man.
Yes, sir.
Your wife and everybody else, man. Much love to y'all. Thank you for all you do, man. Keep up the good work, man, because you all have been standing strong in 2020.
Yes, sir. Hey, Sly, you did a great job today, a.k.a. Black Snake Moan.
Angry
my boy.
On that note, man, fellas, we out of here.
Peace.
Peace.